Let them come and get me. I don't give a shit. Ah! What's up, guys? It is Rob from Movie Review Time, and I'm back with another video. And this time it's a movie review of a movie that I was really late seeing. I haven't seen it until now. I just rented it from Family Video. Today is Tuesday. And I wanted so badly to see this movie in the theater, and I just didn't get a chance. But I've been hearing, everyone saying that this is an unbelievable film. Very overhyped, and I really wanted to check it out for myself. Because the same thing was going on when Get Out came out. Everyone's like, I saw the trailer to Get Out, and I'm like, I guess this looks okay. It wasn't like kicking and screaming, but like everyone's like, yeah, Get Out is so awesome. Oh my God. And I really enjoyed it. Same thing with this one. This was a solid flick. For a PG-13 film, I thought it was really good compared to some of these other PG-13 movies that come out nowadays. But this movie felt original. Even though there are a lot of instances where it reminded me of other films, like The Descent, Tremors, like video games like The Last of Us, Dead Space. The creatures were kind of reminding me of the creatures from Dead Space a little bit. But you have a unique idea, and like this world surrounding this idea of what it would be like on this planet where these creatures have taken over, wiped out humanity almost, and you have to survive by being quiet. Think of how noisy it is in the city. Think of how noisy you are when you sleep. Like some people snore, like you cough, stub your toe, and you're like, ah, fuck. Babies crying. There's so many noises that it makes you think how many noises we make during one day. Like how loud are we? What's interesting about this movie is the fact that these people learn to adapt to the quiet, to be quiet. That's just fascinating. It's a really cool idea. A Quiet Place was directed by John Krasinski, and I never thought he would do something like this. The same thing with like Jordan Peele. I never thought he'd do Get Out, and look how it turned out. I can't say that I'm a big fan of John Krasinski, but I think he's a funny guy. And he's with one of the most beautiful women in the world, Emily Blunt, who's also in this film. Lucky guy. But yeah, he was the director, and Platinum Dunes was one of the companies that were involved in it. Platinum Dunes with Michael Bay, Brad Fuller, Andrew Form, pretty much the same guys who do a lot of the horror films that are made by Platinum Dunes. But John Krasinski, this is pretty much his project, and it was fascinating. It was a very intense movie. You cared about the characters. You cared about what was going on. It didn't let up. There was extreme situations going on where you have to think, how the hell is this person going to get out of this? How, what's going to happen now? It's just very, very like non-stop. It definitely grabs you and pulls you in. You're definitely on the edge of your seat. So it did that very well. The movie's, like I said, it's basically about this family who's trying to survive by being quiet, because there are these creatures who are very sensitive to sound. And that's the way they hunt. If they hear a sound, they go after it and try to find the sound. And they kill on sight, pretty much. And they got some kind of armor around them that's like an armored shell. It even explains in here, like, the military, there's like a newspaper clipping or something that the military, you know, tried to you know, kill them, and they were unsuccessful. They call them like indestructible or something like that, which they're not, because we find that out anyway. Very smart film. You got John Krasinski's character and Emily Blunt, who, you know, have this family. Right in the beginning, you know, they're doing their rounds of, like, you know, getting food and stuff like that. They're heading back to their home, and their little boy ends up dying. You know, they have two boys and one girl. The little boy, the youngest, ends up dying, and because this toy he had made a sound, and ever since then they have been trying to get over the fact that, you know, this could have happened, he would have been saved, and things like that. So they've been living life the way they've been trying to, like, be quiet. You know, every path they walk on like sand and barefoot, just so they won't make a sound. They're in, like, the basement where they have, you know, they set up a home, and, like, the way they cook food and stuff is very unique. Everything is like sign language, pretty much. The whole movie is very quiet. It's just very, you know, they're just doing this sign language stuff, and you know, John Krasinski's character is, it almost has an I Am Legend feel to it. You know, he's trying to teach his kids, you know, he's not going to be around forever, and he's trying to teach his kids how to survive and how to, you know, adapt to these things. And the girl has this hearing device that he's created that's kind of hypersensitive. Like, it hurts her, but in a way she pushes it, like these creatures, they're like repelled. Like, they're not attracted to it, they're run off, basically. So there's like a little weapon that she uses with her hearing aid, with the hearing device that she has, which I thought was pretty cool. But for being a smart movie, there was something I was kind of like, well, this was kind of, you know, you're not really thinking this through. Emily Blunt's pregnant with another child. And what a time to bring a baby into the world when all these creatures are killing everything. And especially when you have to be quiet. She's pregnant. And what do babies do? They cry. They make a lot of noise. What a time to, you know, John Krasinski, to have sex with your wife. Which I don't know how they did that either with being quiet. I mean, unless they just had their hands over their mouth or something like that while they were going at it. I don't know, that's interesting. But she's pregnant and she's about to have a baby. And, you know, John Krasinski is away with his kids, and then she's by herself. She basically goes into labor, and one of these creatures is actually hunting her, Emily Blunt. A very intense scene. She's trying to have this baby. I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. But I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, you're pretty stupid to have a baby, bring a baby into this world when the world is collapsed and these creatures pretty much run the world now. Especially a place where you have to rely on being quiet. What a time to bring a baby in the world. I thought that was, I don't know, it was an idea to make the scenes more intense, to have this intense scene. I understand that. But, you know, if you think about the characters themselves, that was a pretty stupid idea. To get pregnant. But anyway, of course you could argue they adapted. They were adapting to the situation. They were adapting to these creatures, to where these creatures were leaving them alone for a long time. Unless somebody messes up and drops something or something like that, then the creature would be, you know, and be alerted to it. This movie had like a $17 to $20 million budget, made like $300 million, like $330 million. But the cinematography, I love like the faraway shots. Like they're on top of the silo making a fire, then you see in the distance there's people making fires. Which was kind of like Lord of the Rings, you know. You light the fires and then everybody around, you know, around Middle Earth is lighting their fires as well. But like the faraway shots, the still shots, you know, like the close-ups and what's behind somebody, the cinematography was amazing. The music, every time a creature would show up or something intense, it'd have like this really dark kind of feel, like you were in trouble, like somebody was coming and like you needed to get out of there, you needed to hide. I really love that. And the characters I love, even the kids, I felt for them. I felt for John Krasinski and Emily Blunt's character, like I felt for them as well, like the stuff they had to go through every day just to survive. And the fact that these creatures are, I wouldn't say they're not killable, but they're hard to kill because the fact that they're so strong. I mean, this creature is climbing up the stairs and he already puts his hand through the wall. Not even by trying. He just like trying to hold onto the wall and his hand goes through him. Like, can you imagine if this creature actually tried to punch you or slice you? Because the end of their hands are kind of like sharp, so it's like they can slice somebody's head off. Because they're sitting there doing this through this sheet metal and they're stabbing through it. So they're really strong and they got a long reach. And they kind of have an advantage over, I mean, super hearing, strength, agility. I mean, just imagine if they had sight, like super sight as well. There's not really any explanation on what these creatures are or where they're from, just basically their abilities. And it's all done by newspaper clippings. Like really quick, you see like this table full of newspaper clippings, like these creatures, they figured out how to survive against these creatures. You know, John Krasinski has it all over the place. He's trying to figure this stuff out. He's got these computers set up and cameras set up, and he's got like all this technology and all these newspaper clippings just to try to find out if there's any weaknesses to these creatures, or trying to just come up with like some kind of plan or like a backup plan. That was pretty cool. But this movie, yeah, it's just all out intense. I didn't even know the ending makes it seem like they're going to have another movie, like they would have a sequel. When it ended, I had a big smile on my face. I loved it. I loved the ending. It made me want more. But they're saying that there is a sequel in the works right now. And I don't know if that's a good thing. The thing with like Get Out, I'm glad they're not really doing anything with that. I think it's a perfect movie on its own. You know, this movie is doing so well. A Quiet Place is doing so well. that they're going to want a sequel, of course. I just don't know if that's going to be a good thing or not. If John Krasinski directs it and keeps it kind of like the first movie and has an interesting story to continue with this family, then maybe it'll be, you know, good. Or maybe they're going to concentrate on another family that's in the same time period as this family that we're seeing in the first movie. That would be kind of cool, like a parallel thing going on. There's a lot of ideas they could do, but I just don't know. I just don't know if it's a good idea. I just, you know, I don't know. Maybe they can make it work. But I really, really enjoyed this film. I really did. If I had to rate it 1 to 10, I would say a 9.5 or a 9.5 out of 10. That would be my rating. You know, I thought it was really cool to see these creatures. And the fact that these creatures, at first, you don't get to see the whole creature. You get to see like it in the background, or you get to see like the shadow of it, or like the arm of her leg, or it's like moving really fast. Towards the end of the movie is when you get to see the full, I want to say the full body creature. And it is CGI, but it's fine. You know, when its head kind of opens up and it's got the super hearing or whatever, it's you know, you can tell it's CGI, but it's not like terrible CGI. So that was fine. Yeah, but the creature, I like how they kind of worked up to showing you the creature. The creature designs is cool. He has like, the creatures have like sharp teeth too. And there were some bloody images in this movie. Like there's like a raccoon that gets smashed, and like an old lady that gets her, she has like her guts ripped out. And whenever anything happens to like somebody who gets killed, they don't show it, of course. They, you know, if the movie was like rated R, it probably would have showed a lot more. But, you know, that didn't really bother me. You know what happened to him. You know, you don't have to see it, but you know what happened. I mean, you hear a lot of things too. Like you can hear the creature like tearing this person apart and things like that. I guess it's getting, this movie is getting really good good ratings, I guess. From what I'm seeing, IMDb is giving it a 7.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes 95%. Metacritic 82%. It's doing very well. Very, very well. If they hear you, they hunt you. That's pretty much the catchphrase there. If they hear you, they hunt you. So, Quiet Place, does it live up to the hype? Yes, it really does. It's one of the, I want to say one of the most enjoyable films as horror films I've seen in a while. Probably since like Get Out. Definitely. So, thank you for watching. See you next time.